Well, hello and welcome everybody to the New Health Conversation. For all the censors out there that guard the community guidelines, we tell you one thing is for sure at the New Health Conversation, the only thing we ever share with people is what's in the public domain, so they all can see it. That way we're never making a claim. There's never anything that we talk about that's not irrefutable medical evidence backed by medical proof. We've written 4 best-selling books with some of the top medical doctors in the world, 20 shows on public broadcasting, 1,500 live lectures around the world, and we're considered and trusted to be arbiters of the truth. We don't make up things, we don't make claims. There's nothing unsubstantiated and nothing that's not provable and nothing that's not accessible in the public domain. So I just wanted to let you know that. Well, hello, and Fat Cat and Karen. So again, everybody, what do you think about that? 21.2 pounds, 38 inches in a month. That's with no exercise. It's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. We're now evolving as a society where finally medicine is starting to begin to realize the significance of how important food really is to us. There's something now called medically tailored meals, where basically now they're putting together food combinations that they're actually giving to patients that are sick. The problem is that when you look at the foods they're putting together, there's not one shred of medical evidence behind what they're throwing together. That's what these researchers did. These researchers based this new protocol on peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. So every ingredient, every food that they selected was based on science. It wasn't based on an opinion. The researchers who created this protocol where she lost 21 pounds and 38 inches in just 30 days is not up for debate. I mean, these are the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. And what they put together, no one's ever seen results like this. Well, for how many of you would give anything to lose 20 pounds in a month? Actually, 21.2 pounds, 38.75 inches. Now, again, like I said, at least I give them credit. In the medical world, they're called, again, medically tailored meals. They're putting food combinations to deal with certain things. But the foods they're putting together, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. There's no medical proof behind it. There's not what are called human trial medical studies. That's what they have here. Hello, Sandra James. Hello. So the point is that all of these people that you're going to see now are all the subjects of this major research. It took 40 years, 100 studies, thousands and thousands of people. And so the point is that if you're talking about wanting to really change your life and really lose weight and be able to keep it off, then you probably want to tune into this podcast. Although I see most of you are jumping off. You don't believe it. You probably think it's fake. I agree with you, but it's not fake. It's real. So Sandra James, laugh out loud. I'm not quite sure why that's funny. I'm saying hello to you, Sandra. Did you have a specific question before I get in? So here's the thing. Stop scrolling if you want to know how she lost 21 pounds safely in 30 days while gaining 6 to 9% lean muscle. 10 published peer-reviewed human trials studies prove that it's safe, it works, and it's real. It's not a diet. Don't think this is another diet. That's not how it works. This was, like I said, this took about 40 years of research, over 100 studies over a period of 40 years to find out how to make this happen. So Miss Bonet, hello. Hello, Robin. Hello, Mary Molinar. Hello, Anna. Hello, Shireen. I guess you're all not on there because I only see a handful of people that are still on here. So who would like to know how she did this? She lost, you can see, she lost 21 pounds in 30 days, and she gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass, and no, she was not allowed to exercise. So is that of any interest to you at all? Or do you think that you've got the solution with paleo, keto, Mediterranean, India's traditional diets, which absolutely do not work? They don't work. It's not up for debate whether they work or not. So let's go here and let's put April up and see what happens. How about this one, everybody? How about losing 60 pounds in 3 months with no exercise, no calorie counting, and it's published in 10 of the biggest 10 published studies proving this is real, it's for real, there's nothing to, she wasn't even allowed to exercise. And look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body. Can everybody see that? Okay, I guess not. Hello, Abakin5, I see that. And Peter Sanchez, hello. I'm saying hello to all of you. Well, I guess not. Sherry Michelle, hello. Who else would like to ask me a question about this? How did they do it? What is it? Is it real? Is it fake? Did they Photoshop it? Michelle Soul Treats Canada. You're in Canada, Michelle. Hello. Sherry Michelle. That's great. So is anybody excited or interested in finding out how you could lose 5 pounds a week on average? Because that's what they're losing. The least amount of weight loss they're losing on this is about 5 pounds a week. A week, not a month. And with that's no exercise and no calorie counting. Oh, Michelle, first time listening. Great. Welcome very, very much. How did you hear about it? Did you hear, were you just scrolling or did you happen to come across my site on TikTok? I'm always curious when new people come in and join us. Sunny joined. Well, anyway, so Michelle, I'm sure you're very, very curious about how in the world did she lose 5 pounds a week? So the first question I always like to ask people is, how much weight you on? Oh, I see. Okay, great. Wonderful. So Michelle, if you don't mind, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but how much weight, how tall are you? How much weight would you like to lose? And kind of what have you tried in the past? Because I'm going to tell you right now, all diets, traditional diets, as of this podcast today, are completely obsolete. I mean, have you ever seen anything like this? She really lost 21 pounds, 38 inches in just 30 days. And then you look at someone like Julie, look at this, 35 pounds in 37 days. It's not a diet, it's not about counting calories, and no one was allowed to exercise. How's that sound to you, right? And then, like I was showing you, this is my friend's daughter, 60 pounds in 3 months. That's 5 pounds a week consistently for 3 months, and she's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. See, that's one of the keys to this, is maintenance. But how do you get there? What did she do? I'm going to explain all that to you in just a moment. So again, Michelle or anybody else that wants to share, they've tried other diets, nothing has ever worked. They're frustrated. Let me come, Jessica Ballesteros. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, but that's okay. All right, so let's talk about how did she do what she did? So first of all, this was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. What you have to understand, they did 100 studies over 40 years of every diet you could possibly name. And sadly, after 40 years and 100 studies of all the diets you've been on or thinking about or are on, no one's able to ever keep weight off long term, and 2/3 of people gain more weight than they lost. In addition, of the weight you're losing on any of these diets, this is medically proven, 25 to 40%, say you lost 20 pounds, 25 to 40% of the 20 pounds is lean muscle mass, which slows down your metabolism, and that's why you plateau and gain all your weight back. Does that make sense to everybody? So the researchers, when they invented this, said we got to abandon these 50 pounds. I'm turning 55 and they changed their hormones. Ugh. Yeah, this also does wonders for menopause. Okay, so keep listening, Michelle. I'm going to explain to you. All right, so what the researchers concentrated on, Michelle and everybody else, was one principle, and that is the human body has no idea what a calorie is. It doesn't count calories. It doesn't give a damn about a calorie. The only thing your body cares about is nutrition. When you go on a diet, before this, you were lowering the amount of food you were consuming, Michelle. What else were you lowering? Nutrition. When your brain senses not enough nutrition, Michelle, what it does, it immediately stops accessing the fuel inside your fat cell and turns to your muscles for fuel, slowing down your metabolism. And that's why you probably have lost weight and gained it over and over again. I'm assuming anyway, right? So what the researchers did, they said, we're going to pick the foods for you, Michelle. But the foods they picked, you have to understand, they were done, they were analyzed in peer-reviewed human trial studies, what are called human studies on human beings, not some, you get 5 people together and all of a sudden they tested it. No, this is at the highest levels of scrutiny in the world. So they put together a grocery list of foods you'd get from your grocery store. But Michelle, only 30% of what you're going to consume would come from your grocery store. Proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. And instead of giving you calorie amounts, they give you serving sizes. This is very important, Michelle. Remember, these researchers did the research on the foods. They're the top people in the world analyzing them for one thing. How much nutrition did they have? And how accessible was it? Devish, we'll talk about carnivore in a minute, I promise. Don't go away. But anyway, so the researchers, so they picked out the foods that you would get. You'd actually get a grocery list for free. But you got to buy the groceries. I mean, the food's not free. You still have to eat a month's worth of food. Okay, then the other 70% of the food came from other researchers who had for 20 years, Michelle, gone around the world to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. You got it? And keep in mind, the foods they chose, They analyzed them. They're the top nutrition researchers in the whole damn world. They did it with human beings. And see, physiology is the study of the nutrients once they enter the body. So a dietitian can give you opinions about take these nutrients and less carbs and all this, but they're not doing the internal inside our body. Do you know right now, Michelle and everybody else, they have a new thing? They're called medically tailored meals. Yeah, they're giving them to people in hospitals that are sick. But the foods they've chosen have no medical proof. They're throwing together proteins and carbs and fats with no medical proof. And these companies are making millions and millions and millions of dollars. But there's no science behind it. This was scientifically proven after 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people. This is what you should be excited about. Devish, I am eating just one meal of chicken. You mean a day? You're having one meal? I'll come to that in a moment. Okay, so let me finish. So now the research, but you understand, they don't have any, these researchers don't have any products to sell. It's not like they're promoting a product. They're pure scientists. You talk about medically tailored meals, that's what they did. They don't have anything to do with any of these companies. And then they created a new way of eating food for all of you, including you, Michelle. So listen to this. 5 days a week, she ate 4 meals a day. So the person over here, whoever you're telling me about, lost 5 in 3 months. See, that's ridiculous. That's stupid. Look at that. She lost 10 kilos in a month. In 1 month, Devish. But I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name. So what did the researchers do? They let her have 5 days a week. Michelle, you're going to eat 4 times a day. You're going to have these exotic foods around the world just your breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner from these exotic foods around the world. You got that, Michelle? You're going to eat 4 times a day, 5 days a week. 2 days a week, you're going to no food from your grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. And then in this case, you're going to be eating those foods 8 times a day. You're going to be having them about every hour and a half. Guess what they call this eating pattern? They call it protein pacing. But they go one step farther. On the 48 hours, you're actually doing intermittent nutritional fasting. You're fasting with nutrition. Not a water fast, not time-restricted eating, nothing to do with fasting as you would know it. What happened? Here are the results in a month. The diabetics, no one had insulin spikes. As a matter of fact, the diabetics on this, the need for insulin, which is what a diabetic measures, that's how they come to need medication to bring their insulin, to give them more insulin. It went down 41% in a month. And the diabetics, their doctors cut their meds by 50% in a month. That's not the big thing. These researchers, Michelle, did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and proved this is a detox. It is not a diet. Now, in case all of you didn't know, we're breathing, drinking, we're eating chemicals. And as they enter our body, the body's taking the chemical and stuff it in your fat cells. That's why you complain to us, not just about how much weight you've gained, but how much fat you have in your body. And all of us suffer from this new medical syndrome. It's called TDOS. The T is for the toxins in your fat cells. The D is for the deficiency of nutrition in our food, being overweight and stressed. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. Peter Greenlaw, who's that? Oh, that's me. I did discover it. That's not why I'm telling you this. I want you to look at her stomach and her hips on day 1 and look at her stomach on day. That's with no exercise allowed because she's detoxing her body. And the researchers proved that they did blood, stool, urine, fat analysis, proving this is removing chemicals from the fat cells, and the fat cells shrink. Don't let anybody tell you burn fat. That's a total lie on any diet or exercise. You're born with a certain amount of fat cells. You die with a certain amount of fat cells. That's it. We're being misled. Just like these medically tailored meals. There's no science. They're just throwing food nutrients together with no science behind it. I mean, this is crazy. This is medically proven. Medically proven. So the point is, so again, the detox. The second part, here's the second part. The second part was they measured inflammation. And for the first time ever, inflammation came down in people by 25%. The other big news about this picture is 8 or 9 years old. She's kept the weight up for 8 or 9 years. I lost 40 pounds or 20 kilos in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. So someone over here was commenting after they lost 5 kilos in 3 months. In 7 weeks, I lost 20 kilos. It's silly. It's not even trying to compare the same thing. I'm not saying that this person is. I'm pointing out the differences, right? The main reason to do this is not to lose weight. You missed it. If that's what you think, this is basically a health system based on a nutritional system. There's no products to buy. Do you all understand that? Michelle, is this making sense to you? No products to buy, only food. Last time I ate 7 p.m. yesterday and 2 p.m. Oh my, Michelle, you're doing the worst thing you could ever possibly do to yourself. Let me show you the medical science behind that. So what you're doing, that's called time-restricted eating. Let me read just one of several of the big studies now on this time-restricted eating. This was done, Michelle, in the Journal of the American Medical Association, one of the top medical journals in the world. They did a 3-month study, Michelle. Listen to the outcomes. The researchers at Journal of American Medical Association found that overweight adults who were routinely assigned to eat fast 16 hours daily, known as the 16-8 diet, over 3 months gained almost no benefit from it. Over the course of a 3-month study, they lost 2 to 3.5 pounds, and all of the weight they lost was lean muscle mass. Exactly what I'm telling you, Michelle. Any weight you're losing on that, you're going to pay a huge price because you've slowed down your metabolism. It's all going to come back. You don't have to believe me. The medical science is the medical science. And they're telling you that time-restricted eating is nothing, it's no different. As a matter of fact, it's not even effective as regular diets, just lowering calories. Here's another study in the Annals of Internal Medicine, Michelle. This one was a 3-month study. Here's what they said. They took one group of people and put them on exactly what you're doing, this time-restricted eating. The other group, they just lowered calories. Again, after 3 months, on the time-restricted eating, people lost 4.6 pounds in 3 months, or 2 kilos. They lost, by just lowering calories, 5.2 pounds or 2.6 kilos. They lost more weight by lowering calories than they did doing this ridiculous, made-up, silly time-restricted eating. No science. The science behind it says, and 25 to 40% of what the people were losing, I already explained it to you, was lean muscle mass. You wonder why you can't lose weight and keep it off, Michelle? That 50 pounds, let's say you lose 10 or 15 pounds, 25 to 40% is your lean muscle mass. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you, Michelle? You need one. Look, Michelle, and all of you, so you see the website in blue right above her head, the New Health Conversation. So Michelle and everybody else, you can go to that website. We will not contact you. It's all the medical proof. I'm going to show it to you right. Michelle, great. It makes sense. Let's look at the website. So go to Google, all of you. You can type in the New Health Conversation, and it'll take you to the link in Google. You'll see it in just a moment. There it is, the New Health Conversation. Click on there. There's the website. There's nothing to buy on the website. The only thing there is the medical proof, including number 1 is a podcast with the number 1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. 3, the actual medical studies. You can click on there and actually go see them. The other thing that's so important about this is, notice, Michelle, free coaching. The coaching is free. You're buying whatever you spent last month on groceries. Take 30%, that's all you're going to spend this month at your grocery store with the list that they put together. The other 70% you're going to spend comes from these other exotic foods around the world that you buy directly from them, not from us. But listen to this, Michelle. That 70% you're going to spend, they'll give you a 100% money back guarantee in the first 30 days if it doesn't work. Yeah, that's it. And look at the results. Michelle, seriously, what do you think? My friend's daughter, 60 pounds or 30 kilos in 3 months. 60 pounds or 30 kilos in 3 months. And then, you hear, when you get older, it's hard to lose weight. Really? Well, tell that to this guy. He lost 40 pounds or 20 kilos in 30 days. But look at his blood work. His A1C from 8.4 to 6.4. His triglycerides, 242 to 124 in 30 days. Michelle, have you ever seen anything like that? Or any of you? Please, everybody, feel free to comment. And the coaching is free, Michelle, the whole time. There's no gimmicks. You don't buy anything from us. There's no products to buy. What you're buying is food from your grocery store and these exotic foods around the world. You're either buying directly from your grocery store or you're buying directly from these other researchers that had gone to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to find these foods. But Michelle, how excited would you be? So let's say you're 50 pounds. Michelle, the first 4 days, you're probably going to lose 6 or 8 pounds. Tell me how much that would excite you. and you're not going to be hungry, and you're going to be way healthier than you are doing this ridiculous time-restricted eating, which is nothing more than a low-calorie, glorified diet. That's all it is. It's nonsense. It's just not, and all the medical proof proves it. I mean, when they looked at, I've got it over here. Let me read the 12-month summary of time-restricted eating. So Michelle and everybody else, what these researchers did, the title is The Grand Myth of Traditional Diets, a Devastating Cycle of Failure and Failed Promises, okay? What they did is they analyzed all the top, oh, Michelle, you're there already, okay. And you understand, Michelle, you can scroll down and get a free coach. And Michelle, but we're not going to contact you. Pink Zombie Rose, interesting, great. So anyway, any of the new people that are coming on, would you like to know how in the world that, and the reason I like this, she only had 30 pounds or 15 kilos to lose total. Well, she lost 21 pounds or 10 kilos in just 30 days. She lost 70%. Now, again, she lost no water weight, everybody, and instead of losing any lean muscle, she gained 6 to 9% lean muscle and was not allowed to exercise. Now, why didn't they exercise? Because they didn't want exercise to be an outlier. Otherwise, you'd say, well, it was diet and exercise. No, it wasn't. It had nothing to do with diet and exercise. And she's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. So who would like to know more about that? So hopefully, Michelle, I think you're going to really enjoy that website. Pink Zombie Rose, did you have a question? Do you want me to expound and explain to you more about what, it's not a diet, she's not counting calories, and there was no exercise allowed. And she's kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. So Pink Zombie, how much does that excite you? Oh, great, Pink Zombie. So I would love to know more. So do you want me, I'll give you the, let me give you the 2-minute version, okay? Is that okay? Make sure. And Pink Zombie, if you don't mind, just like Michelle had done for me, how tall are you, how much do you weigh, and what have you tried in the past? Because, you know, we have, listen, Pink Zombie, we have kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 91 years old. We have people with no thyroids, we have people with Hashimoto's. I mean, all kinds of challenges. We're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or preventing any medical conditions. And the reason we offer you a free consultation is we don't know anything about you. So we want to tailor what you're doing. I'm going to explain that to you. It is the detoxification. It is 100%. This is a detox. It is not a diet. It has nothing to do with counting calories. I'm going to explain to you how that works. And but you've got to understand, here's the difference, Pink Zombie. It's published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. So nothing that I'm sharing with you is not backed by irrefutable medical proof, not my opinion. Otherwise, I'd be giving you an opinion. I'd be making a claim. I'm not making a claim when I'm reading and sticking to the peer-reviewed, these published peer-reviewed human trial studies. This is going to change the whole world. There's no diet that can match up to this, never. And it's not a diet, it's a detox. And that's what I'm going to explain to you here in just a moment, if that sounds good to you. So let me explain to you, and you can tell me how much you want to lose or not. You don't have to put it in the chat if you don't want to. But I'd love to be able to tell you how long do I think it would take you to lose that weight based on this protocol. Now, the reason that we chose, this is one of the reasons I chose her. She only had 30 pounds or 15 kilos to lose, and she lost 21 pounds or 10 kilos in just a month. Now, the researchers who created this, Pink Zombie and everybody else, they had done 100 studies over 40 years of every diet you can imagine. And sadly, they came to the conclusion that every diet they studied, everybody gained all their weight back, and 2/3 actually ended up weighing more than where they started, and 25 to 40% of any pounds you're losing on any diet, Pink Zombie, is lean muscle mass. Well, when you lose lean muscle, it slows down your metabolism. That's why you plateau and gain all the weight back, which I'm sure you've probably experienced. So what the researchers said, the fallacy of all diets is they're based on counting calories. Well, one of the biggest problems with that is the fact the human body has no idea what a calorie is. It doesn't count calories. It doesn't care about calories. When you're hungry, you're not hungry for calories. You're alive because of 3 things: air, water, and nutrition. That's what the researchers did. They said, wait a minute. We have the medical analysis, which they'd done, on the amount of nutrition in foods. So instead of relying on calorie counting, they abandoned it. You won't count calories on this. You get a serving size. And the researchers they've done the medical proof. See, they're not just weight loss nutrition. They're also what are called human physiologists on human trials. When you ingest a food, they can see what the nutrition in that food is doing inside your body, which is the only thing you should care about. So what they did, they put together a food list, literally Pink Zombie. You'd get a food list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables that you go to your grocery store to buy. But only about whatever you spent last month, you're only going to spend about 30% of that this month because the portion sizes are going to be smaller. Don't worry about being hungry. We have people weigh 500 pounds. They're not hungry on this because hunger has nothing to do with the quantity of food you're eating, has nothing to do with calorie counting, it has to do with the nutritional density of the food you're actually putting in your mouth into your body, okay? The other 70%, so you've spent of what you spent last month, figure 30% you're going to spend this month on food at your grocery store. You're not buying anything from us. There's no products here. The other 70% came from other what that you're going to spend, I'm talking about, and the other 70%, the actual amount of food you buy, comes from these other researchers, Pink, who've gone around the world to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. Then based on this new model, which was based on nutrition, nothing to do with calorie counting, and based on serving sizes, they let her have 5 days a week. She was eating 4 meals a day. So you would start with these exotic foods around the world. That's your breakfast. No food from the grocery store. Lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner from these foods from around the world. So 5 days a week. And by the way, they got a registered trademark of this new way of eating. It's called protein pacing. So you got 5 days covered now. 2 days out of 7 days, she got no food from the grocery store. Hold on. And only these exotic foods around the world. And she was eating those foods 8 times a day. Now, don't think you're preparing a meal and cooking a roast. No, you're not doing anything like that. These nutrients, some of them you have as a soup, some of you have as a tea, some of you just take the nutrient. And some of these nutrients come from these blue zones in the world where people living to be 100 years old. I want to put that in my body. I don't know about you. So 5 days a week, she's having 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, she's having 8 meals a day. And the diabetics on this, nobody had insulin spikes. In a month's time, listen to this. You were talking about the detox. Here's what they did. They did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and proved that this was helping the body remove herbicides and pesticides and Scotchgard and Teflon from our bodies, Pink Flora. Okay, got it? But so the number one reason to do this is detoxification. The number 2 reason is not weight loss. The number 2 reason is also what they proved. This lowered inflammation, which we all suffer from, by 25% in a month. So those minor aches and pains, the stiffness, pretty much was going away in people. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or preventing any medical diseases. All we're doing is sharing to you what's in the published in these medical studies. Nothing I'm telling you is my opinion. I don't want you to believe me, okay? The third thing that they found now, that picture's 8 or 9 years old. She's kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. And so maintenance, how simple is maintenance? You have the world's most perfect meal, which I did this morning for breakfast. I had lunch, excuse me, and I'm going to have dinner tonight. And then every couple months, I do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast, not to lose weight anymore, but to keep helping my body to detox itself. So Pink Flora, does that make sense to you? And keep in mind, sorry, Pink Zombie. Pink Zombie Rose. I was calling you Pink Rose. I left out part of it, okay? Shared the live with 5 of my friends. Wonderful, wonderful. So Pink Zombie Rose, do you understand this is not my opinion? Do you understand there's no other protocol in the world that's been published in 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies? And the studies that have been done on other diets are pitiful. Let me show you, all of you. Oh, good. And do you understand, you see the website right above her head there, right? Everybody sees it. The New Health Conversation, that's free. All can go for free to see all the medical proof. Wow, we got 730 likes. Come on, let's get some more likes. Just tap on your phones. But I want to share with you, the medical research on like calorie counting. Here's Harvard Medical School. Stop counting calories. They said, we've been taught that losing weight is a matter of simple math. Cut calories 3,500 and you lose a pound. But as it turns out, experts are learning that this decades-old strategy is totally misguided. That's Harvard Medical School. Now let's take a look at another big study, this time from Medicare. From those outside the country, Medicare is sort of our social medicine network, okay? But they're trying to lower healthcare costs by getting people to lose weight. Now listen to this. So the Medicare, here's the title of the study. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. The researchers from Medicare reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether any diet is an effective treatment for obesity. The study showed that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than lost on any diet. In summary, they said there is little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. You're all on diets. Why? Because you don't know what else to do. Because now, after today, you can't say you didn't know what to do. There's your medical proof right there. And it's not just hyperbole. The thing that makes it different, it's published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. The foods that you would take have literally been, well, they were proven in medical trials by these top experts in the world who put this together. They don't sell anything. There's no products here. Please understand that. There's no like, oh, here's a magic elixir, a pill you're going to. No, it doesn't work like that. These researchers found, and now, what are they doing in hospitals? Medically tailored meals. They're putting together, carbohydrates but they don't have it. The foods they're putting in there. There's no study behind it. They're just throwing it together and saying, oh, this is a medically tailored meal. What? And they're doing it, and they're making a fortune. This is back. It published. If what they were talking about was that good, they'd want it published in peer-reviewed medical in these big medical journals. We're losing our minds. We are losing our minds. Right now, in 4 years, they project 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese. From 1995 to 2025, the rates of obesity in the world and the United States have doubled. We have twice as many people obese in the last 30 years. Does that sound to you like whatever diet you're on actually works? Creamy, what's the secret? Well, it's not my secret, but it is the secret, okay? The researchers creme brulee won. Oh, creme brulee. Oh, I love creme brulee. I'm sorry, I wasn't quite reading it. That's a great thing. Okay, so here's how it came about. The researchers who created this are the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. They had done 100 studies over 40 years looking at all diets and concluded no diet that they ever studied in 40 years had people lose weight and keep it off. And the main reason was people that are, when they go on a diet, they're concentrated on calories in and calories out. It doesn't work. It's nonsense because your body doesn't even know what a calorie is. Do any of you actually know what a calorie is? If you do, put it in the chat. Because there have been 11 people in a year that have given me the actual medical definition of a calorie, and yet you're all counting calories. We're going to do something different. Based on our medical research for 40 years of the nutrients inside our food, that's what human physiology means. So they're the top in the world, weight loss nutrition, and human physiologists studying the nutrients from the end of the body. So they put the foods together that you would consume on this, but only 30% of what you actually would, whatever you bought last month at the grocery store, take that amount of money, but only take 30% of it to buy what you're going to buy to go on this protocol. And they're going to give you a list: proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables that you literally take to your grocery store. But instead of having calorie amounts, they give you serving sizes. So that's 30% of what you're going to buy as food in a month, okay? The other 70% doesn't come from your native country for the most part. They come from places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, and New Zealand, which they found these foods with huge amounts of nutrition. That's what these other researchers did. So if you took your grocery budget for a month, about 30% from the store, and 70% or maybe a little bit more, you're going to get these exotic foods from around the world. But that was the start of it. Then what did they do based on those new foods? They created a new way of eating. Yeah, called protein pacing. It's so advanced, they got a registered trademark U.S. patent office, creme brulee. So now what they did, they created a new eating pattern for her. 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these exotic foods from around the world, lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner from these exotic foods from around the world. Does everybody get that? So 5 days a week, you're having 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods. But this time, you're going to have those exotic foods 8 times a day. You're going to be eating every hour and a half. Now, this is until you've lost your weight, right? The diabetics on this, no one had insulin spikes. Listen to these medical results. I've got them right here. This will blow your mind. This is what they found. Well, first of all, let me explain something to creme de la. This is not a diet. It's a detox. How can I say that? Because the researchers did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and proved this was removing chemicals from our body that were stored inside our fat cells. That's why you all complain to us, not just about how much weight you gain, but how much fat you have in your body. Look at her stomach, everybody, on day 1. Look at her stomach on day 30. That's a result of the detox because they weren't allowed to exercise. They wore Fitbits to prove they didn't exercise. This is going to change the world. It could change your world. You could literally lose as much weight in 4 days on this as in a month of dieting. And you're not losing water or lean muscle. They measured with her. She gained 6 to 9% lean muscle and wasn't allowed to exercise. So detox is number 1. You know what number 2 is? They also measured inflammation. This is the first time ever in history. And inflammation went down 25% in a month. The diabetics on this, about diabetic, what the body tells them and they monitor it, they need insulin to drive their blood sugar down. The need for insulin on this went down 41% in a month, and the doctors monitoring their patients had to cut their meds by 50% in 30 days. The next big thing is maintenance. That picture is 8 or 9 years old. They've all kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. Hell, I lost 40 pounds or 20 kilos in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. Does that sound interesting to you now, creme de la? Does that make sense? Now, creme de la also, you see right above her head there in blue. I want you all to see that, the new health conversation. You can all go there for free and see the medical proof. There's nothing to buy on that site. I'm going to show you the site right now. Here you go. Type in the new health conversation. And you can look at, there's the website. There's nothing to buy. Now, I want to caution you, if you go there, we're not going to contact you. And only thing there's the medical proof. Like number 1 is an exclusive podcast with the number 1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. And he'll tell you they'll never recommend a traditional diet to any of their patients ever again. They're the top people in the world. I think maybe you might want to listen to them. But if you like what you see here, you can scroll down and you get a free coach. The coaching is 100% free the whole time through. There's no products to buy. 30% of what you're going to spend is at your grocery store. The other 70% for these exotic foods around the world. By the way, creme de la, those foods you're buying from around the world, in the first 30 days, if it doesn't work, you didn't like it, they'll give you all your money back. 100%, no catches, guarantee. So if you go to the website and it says free coaching, it'll say 100% money back guarantee. There's confusion. The money back is obviously the 30% of the food you're going to buy from the grocery store. They're not going to refund your money, but those researchers will. So you tell me, any of you, anything like this on the planet you've ever heard of, or to see these kind of results. Well, look at my friend. This one, wait till you see this, everybody. 200 pounds in a little over a year. Look at no loose skin, no surgery of any kind. You tell me, anybody, if you've ever seen anything like that. Look at that, right? Oh, Pink Zombie Rose, thank you so much for listening. Yeah, go take a look at the website and you can get a free coach, any of you. And we're at 1,900 likes. Come on, everybody, let's keep tapping on the screen. Hello, T. Hello, user 3961. Who else would like to ask me a question? So creme brulee, did that make sense to you? And you understand you can go to that website right above her head there, the new health conversation, see the medical proof, and then decide, because we're not going to contact you. We don't need to do that. We rely on the medical proof that nobody else has. For all of you, I want you to understand, nobody else has this information. Nobody. So who else would like to ask me a question about how did she do this? Or how did Julie lose 35 pounds in 37 days? Or Curtis, talk about diabetics. How did he lose 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days with no exercise at 65 years of age? That shouldn't be happening, right? So who else would like to ask me a question about this? Oh, we got 2,100 likes. That's great. And like I said, that's my friend's daughter. So 60 pounds or 30 kilos in 3 months with no exercise. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her waist. Is anybody curious? Would anybody like? Oh, I see, everybody. Believe it or not, we have a celebrity on the line over here. So I'm very proud to say that this is Women's World. That's not what I'm proud of. It's Women's World magazine is the #1 women's magazine in the entire world. This is the mom and daughter I got the privilege of coaching. The daughter is a nurse. She's 57 years old. She lost 50 pounds in 3 months about 3 years ago. The mom ended up losing, I think it was 90 pounds. And now I think altogether she lost 102 pounds in a little over a year. And they both have kept it off for 3 years. She's actually on one of the other platforms saying, I love this protocol. It's so easy. And the results are sustainable. I didn't know she was going to come on, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't. I mean, I know her. She's my friend, but this is if you think you get on the cover of Women's World if it's not legitimate. I mean, it's not an advertisement. You can't pay to be on the cover of Women's World magazine. Period. There's no dollar amount that would get you on the cover of Women's World. And then they wrote a big article about it inside, and you all can get it. It was the June 9th issue, and I believe you can still get it online. You can't buy it on the newsstand anymore, but you really can. So which is really unusual. They did a 2-page article. Look, new protein miracle diet. Remember, this is called protein pacing, so that's what they're referring to. So now, who else would like to ask me a question about how in the world did she do this? Is it safe? How can I do it? Come on, everybody. Come on, ask me a question. This is live. I'm more than happy to share this with you. This could change your lives. It could change your day. It could change everything you've ever thought about diet, exercise, nutrition, because it's all wrong. It's upside down, and none of it works. Oh, Devish, the carnivore diet is good. The carnivore diet is still woefully short of the other nutrition. We have lots of people doing carnivore, but they do it in conjunction with these other nutrients that come from around the world that make up for the deficiency. Just eating protein doesn't give you, for example, the natural vitamins you need. It doesn't give you trace ionic minerals. It doesn't give you fiber. It's a whole different ball game. Oh, Care Bear, what's the secret? Okay, I almost didn't see your name there. Okay, so Care Bear, if you don't mind, and you don't have to if you don't want to, but how tall are you? How much do you weigh, and how much would you like to weigh? And what have you tried in the past? I'm going to answer anyway, but it doesn't matter. But because I'll give you an honest evaluation of how long I think it would take you to do that and be able to keep it off. Now, keep in mind what you're looking at here, Care Bear, was invented by the top weight loss, nutrition physiologists in the world. They had done 40 years, 100 studies of every diet out there. And they came to the conclusion after 40 years and 100 studies, they never, 5'2", 165. Okay, and what do you think you should weigh? What would you like to weigh? Give me your number, and then I'll tell you what we'd like to see you from a medical standpoint of you be. Great, I was going to say 130 would be wonderful. So let's just say 35 pounds. Are you ready for this, Care Bear? In the first 4 days, how excited would you be if you lose 6 to 8 pounds? You'll probably lose easily, that first month, you're probably going to lose around 20 pounds. So I would say now you might do it sooner. At the outside, 35 pounds easily within 2 months. So imagine by the end of September, you could be down 35 pounds. I know you think it's crazy, but you've got to understand, this protocol is published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. Look at her. She lost 21 pounds in a month. She had 30 pounds to lose, a little bit less than you. But I'd rather underpromise and overperform. Does that make sense? Now I'm going to explain to you exactly how you can do that. But Care Bear, give me what would you think? If you stand on the scale on the 4th morning and you're down 6 or 8 pounds, what would you think? My God, it's unsafe. It's got to be water weight. No, they measured water. She lost no water weight, and instead of losing any lean muscle, she gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. But seriously, how excited would you be if you stand on the scale in 4 days and you're down 6 or 8 pounds? Would that excite you? Would you be excited? Would you be motivated? Or would you think, oh my God, this can't be real and it must be unsafe? There are no bad answers. Okay, so what did they do? So the researchers said, counting calories is dead. It doesn't work. It's never worked. And it's true. And here's why, Care Bear. The human body has no idea what a calorie is. It doesn't count calories. It doesn't care about calories. If you're counting calories, you're doing one of the craziest things on the planet that has no relevance to the body. The body can't use calories. So the researchers said you're alive because of 3 things: air, water, and what? Nutrition. So the whole premise of this was, can we give you less food, but they found the foods with high levels of nutrition. They're the top nutrition researchers in the world. They know what to do. So they put a grocery list together for her, and you'd get the same thing, Care Bear, but take whatever you spent last month on food, take about 25 to 30% of it. That's all you're going to buy from your grocery store, from the list they're going to give you, which has nothing to do with calorie counting, serving sizes, proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. You got it, Care Bear? Only 30% of what you would consume or she consumed. The other 70% doesn't come from your local grocery store. It comes from these other exotic foods from places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand that represent huge amounts of nutrition, but smaller quantities of food. Okay? So 30% of what you would spend, that you spent last month, your grocery store. The other 70% will pretty much pay for those exotic foods or maybe a little bit more. But look at the results. But that's only what you're going to consume. Then they invented a new way of eating called protein pacing. Care Bear, they got a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office of this new way of eating. 5 days a week, you'd eat 4 times a day. Yeah. You start with these exotic foods from around the world, lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner, these exotic foods from around the world. How crazy is that? 2 days a week out of 7, you're going to do something called, well, first of all, no food from the grocery store at all. None. Zero. You're not consuming any food from the grocery store. Only these exotic foods from around the world, but this time you're going to be having those 8 times a day. You're going to eat about every hour and a half. Oh, yeah. These are not snacks. These are nutrient-dense feedings. The diabetics on this, no one had an insulin spike. But let me give you the example of what they did, Care Bear, in a month. First of all, Care Bear, this is not a diet. It is a detox. Yeah, they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis. Improved. This is removing or helping the body remove the chemicals from our fat cells. The reason people complain, and even probably yourself at 165, it's not just how much weight, but the amount of fat you have on your body. But you haven't added fat cells. That's what you need to understand. Your fat cells have expanded because of you ingesting these chemicals that me and you and everybody on the planet's ingesting. And hell, I discovered the medical syndrome. It's called TDOS. T for toxins, D for nutritional deficiency, overweight, and stress. It's a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office of a new medical condition that every person on earth has. Peter Greenlaw, that's me. I discovered it. So I know a little bit about it. Well, these researchers proved you can help your body get rid of chemicals stored inside of you. It is the number one reason to do this. The weight loss is still way down the line because the second thing they proved is in a month's time, inflammation, which plagues all of us, came down 25% in 30 days. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or preventing any medical conditions. All we're doing is we're quoting from the medical studies. These are published medical studies. It's not a scientific paper. It's a whole different level. It's to be quite honest, a published study in a medical journal is that's why no drug ever gets approved without a peer-reviewed human trial study. The third thing about this is so great, Care Bear, she's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. That's why the program's called R2M. The researchers called it Race to Maintenance. How crazy is that? Race to Maintenance. So Care Bear, what do you think about that? And Care Bear, what I would invite you to do you see right above her head there in blue, the new health conversation? Do you see that, Care Bear? Give me a yes. And I'm going to show you even more. You can go to Google, type in the new health conversation. That's the name of the website. That's the name of our movement, which you can join. It's free to join. And you can do it or not do it, but you have access to them. So look, there's the new health conversation. There's the website. There's nothing on that website to buy except the medical proof, including number 1, is an interview podcast with the number 1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. And if you like what you see, then you can scroll down. You get a free coach, Care Bear. It's not, you can see it right there in black above her head. Free coaching to ensure your success. Are you kidding me? Oh, I didn't even tell you the other part, Care Bear. So 30% of the food of your grocery you bought last month, you buy at your grocery store. The other 70% you're spending on these exotic foods around the world. Those researchers, in the first month, they'll give you 100% money back guarantee. Because if you go to the website and sign up for a free coach, they'll say 100% money back guarantee. So I don't want to confuse people. 30% of the foods you're buying from the grocery store, you're not going to get a refund. But those other so now listen, nothing's 100%. But do you know how rare it is for us to ever get anybody who wants to return the product? Not the products, but the foods. There's no products. There's no lotions, potions, pills. No, this is food. I know it sounds good to be true, but seriously, yeah. Paul, that's my Paul. Thank you very much. But that's my that's my TikTok handle. If you want to go to the website, you have to type in the New Health Conversation without the at. And it is a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. Thank you very much, Paul, for doing that. I really appreciate that. So to all of you see that, the New Health Conversation, you all can go there for free. I'm not here to convince you. I'm not here to sell you. I'm here to educate you. Our whole existence is about making you aware of what's available. But what do you all think? Look at this, everybody. Here's what's so amazing. The guy's 65 years old, loses 40 pounds and 52 inches, but look at the improvement in his lab work. His A1C from 8.4 to 6.4, his triglycerides, 242 to 124. That's in 30 days with no exercise. Look at his stomach. Look at how much his stomach went down. Are you all in disbelief that this is real? It's Photoshop. We're lying to you? Because if you do think that, you're on the wrong podcast. I've done over 1,000 podcasts in the last year because I do 3 to 5 a day, 7 days a week. You do the math. And we're here to educate. Yes, Paul, that's right. Perfect. The New Health Conversation. Thank you for clarifying that up. So, Paul, did you have a question for me? Or have you been on my podcast before, or is this your first time? I'm always curious. I always ask. It is going all over the world now. Like right now, we're almost ready for people in New Zealand and Australia in about another hour. Well, no, actually right now it's about 8:30 in the morning over there, so probably some of them may actually be on here. Oh, you were on before. Great, 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 great. And you came back for more? Really? You're that brave? No, I'm kidding. But anybody else, ICT, Creedstown Ranch, who else would like to ask me a question about how in the world this is even possible? I mean, I just think it's so, well, look at Julie, everybody. That's about 7 pounds a week. A week, everybody. Do you hear me say it? 7 pounds a week. Does that sound like it's unbelievable? It's okay if you're skeptical. I get it. I mean, most people are. So, again, we've only got 2,100 likes. Come on, can we get some more taps on the screen to see what some more people going? Who else would like to ask me a question? I don't bite. I'm really a nice person. I'm just a nutritional researcher for 23 years. I have written 4 best-selling books with some of the top medical doctors in the world about this. I did 20 shows on public broadcasting. I was interviewed on the 4 biggest daytime shows in America, and I've done over 1,500 live lectures in hospitals and universities and towns around North America, Canada, Mexico, and it even flew me to China, where I did 10 lectures in about 14 days. That was an amazing experience, by the way. So who else would like to ask me a question? I don't know why people are so shy. I mean, it's just, this could change your life and you're not curious about it. I mean, you can even put in the chat if you want, please tell us what it is. How did they do it? What's the secret? Actually, that was a poster I had. I said, stop scrolling if you want to know how she lost 21 pounds safely in 30 days while gaining 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. That's real, everybody. But I know you're not going to stop scrolling because you can't believe that this is real. You think somehow maybe it's fake or we photoshopped it. We didn't do any of that. This is all real for all of you. And again, can we get some more taps on the screen? We're at 2,100 likes. I know we can get to 3,000, no problem. So again, who else would like to ask me? Oh, Sunshine Mimi, wonderful, wonderful. Thanks for asking. Okay, so Sunshine Mimi, it's going to take me 2 or 3 minutes to explain it to you, so please don't get impatient with me. So let's come back over here and look at, so these are her actual numbers. So she lost 21 pounds and 38 inches. She was not allowed to exercise, and they measured, she lost no water weight over this course and lost no lean muscle, gained 6 to 9% lean muscle. Okay, Sunshine, so that's to start out. Who invented this? The top, by the way, there are no products to buy, Sunshine. So there's no magic elixir or pill. It's food. But it was developed by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. And they had done 100 studies over 40 years, thousands of people on every kind of diet you can imagine. No diet ever worked long term in the sense that 2/3 of people gained more weight than they lost by counting calories. They said, we're going to abandon counting calories. Do you know your buddy doesn't even know what a calorie is? Did you know that, Sunshine? You know? They don't have it. So they said, we're going to concentrate on the only thing your body cares about. Well, there are 3 things that keep you alive: air, water, and what? Nutrition. So they were going to pick foods where they could give you less food, and they medically analyzed the foods to determine the amount of nutrition, because that's the only thing you can, that's why you're alive, is because of nutrition, not because of calories. So they put a grocery list together. You would literally proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of giving you instead of giving you calorie counts, they give you serving sizes, right? But only whatever you spent last month on food, you're only going to spend 30% of it this month at the grocery store for the proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. Got it? The other 70% of the money you have left will go towards, or pretty much pay for, these other foods that these researchers had gone around the world, not these researchers, another group of researchers, for 20 years they'd gone to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition that were medically analyzed for their nutritional density. Okay? So that's what you're going to eat. But here's what was cool. They invented a new way of eating called protein pacing. It's so advanced, they actually got a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office of this new way of eating. So what did she do? 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these exotic foods around the world, no food from the grocery store. Lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner, these exotic foods around the world. So it wasn't 3 meals a day, it wasn't 2 meals a day, it was 4 meals a day. Now, before you jump to any conclusions, those are the results. 2 days a week, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time she ate 8 times a day. She was eating every hour and a half. In a month, first of all, the diabetics in this, no one had insulin spikes. Now, the main thing I want to impress upon you, Sunshine, is not a diet. The researchers had done blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis. Now, why did they do that? Because they proved that this was a detox. And they found that this was helping the body get rid of what? Herbicides and pesticides and flame retardants and Scotchgard and Teflon and all these chemicals that we're ingesting in our body. One of the reasons people complain so much about not just how much weight they've gained, Sunshine, but how much fat they're carrying on their body. Because your body, to protect you, is taking the chemicals that comes in. The immune system can't deal with these chemicals, and takes that chemical and stuffs it in your visceral fat, and those fat cells expand. See, what's misleading for everybody is when people tell you that you can burn fat on a diet or by exercise. Not true. You're born with a certain number of fat cells, you die with a certain number of fat cells, and your fat cells can expand or contract over the course of your lifetime. Well, the fats, look at her stomach on day 1. Sunshine, look at that. Then look at her stomach on day 30. With no exercise, and she lost no water weight and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle. So the first thing was detox. What was the second thing? They measured for the first time ever inflammation, which, in case you didn't know, is the underlying cause of every disease out there. It went down 25% in a month. No diet's ever produced anything even close to this. Number 3, she's kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. It's called R2M, race to maintenance. The main reason to do, it's not a question, can we get the weight off you? That's like, for us, that's like a default. That's nothing. The key is to teach you, and how simple is maintenance? Breakfast every morning, these exotic foods around the world, a lunch and a dinner, and then maybe every couple months, once you've lost your weight, do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast. Now, one thing I want to point out to you, the researchers said, unless you're on a prescription for iron or calcium deficiency, these nutrients from these exotic foods represent the world's most perfect meal from a nutritional standpoint. You don't need any other supplements. See, you know what they're doing now in hospitals? There's a new thing called medically tailored meals, where they're putting together, carbohydrates and fruits and vegetables and but what they're telling people, there's no medical science behind what's in those foods. These researchers they're the top weight loss nutrition, but they're physiologists. What's a physiologist? A physiologist studies the nutrients. Once they enter your body, what are they doing? What's the quantity? It's a whole different ball game. That's what they did. The foods they picked had huge levels of nutrition and small quantities of food. These medically tailored meals that they're doing, they're on the right approach, but and they're making millions of dollars selling this stuff with nothing behind it, no medical proof. Oh, well, it was put together, a doctor and people put this together. But they are not human physiologists, with all due respect. They're just not. So that's why this works. And the other thing, Sunshine, that right there in blue, if everybody can see that, the New Health Conversation, it's the free medical website to go see the proof I'm going to show you right now. You'd go to Google, you'd type in, if you want, the New Health. We won't contact you, Sunshine, if you go there. So look, the New Health Conversation. It'll take you to Google. There's the link. You click on the link. There's the website. There's nothing to buy on the website. The only thing there's the medical proof, including number one is an exclusive podcast with the number weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. And his team, they invented this, and they said in the interview, they will never put a patient on a traditional diet ever again. That's after 40 years and 100 studies. They didn't do any exercise at all. They actually wore Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. Now, I understand as I share this with all of you, it makes you more skeptical. But you know what takes away the skepticism is the fact that this is published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. And you see them. If you go to the website, you get to see the medical studies. And the research, they don't have any control over that. They submit their research. But I'll tell you this, listen to this, everybody. So one of the studies, which was published in the obesity journal, well, the top obesity journal in the world, and it came out in early 2024, about a year ago. This study was the most downloaded study in the world, in a year. The most. And you get to see it on the website. It's there because it's in the public domain. See, we don't have to make claims. Can anybody tell me, please, whether it's Paul or anybody, is there anybody that you've seen on social media showing you published peer-reviewed studies about what they're claiming? See, if what they were claiming was that good, you'd want to get published. But the problem is they'd be exposed because what they're claiming, there's nothing behind, no medical proof behind it. That's why I said the new trend is this, what are called MTMs, medically tailored meals that they're giving to people. It's a good start, and it's better than probably regular hospital food. But there's no science behind, well, how much nutrition is really in this stuff they're giving to people. Not that it's bad, it's not. But it's not this. Gypsy Sage. What's the study say? It said that, this is safe. It's not one study. Anyway, Gypsy, there's 10 of them. 10 that you can see on the website for free. Well, Gypsy, let me ask you, she lost 21 pounds and 38 inches in a month with no exercise. She lost no water weight and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle. Or look at, how about Julie? 35 pounds and 30, that's 7 pounds a week. And then my friend's daughter, how about 60 pounds in 3 months? Gypsy, how's that? That's what's in the studies and the medical proof to back it up. And then this, I love this picture. Mary, 200 pounds in a year. Where's the loose skin, everybody? No surgery. Look at that, everyone. Now, Gypsy, you can go, see right above your head in blue, the New Health Conversation? You can go there and the studies are there for you to read. I'm going to show you right now. So, Gypsy, if you want to see the studies, the New Health Conversation is the free website to go to, and we won't contact you if you go there. So type in Google, there it is, click on the New Health Conversation, there's the medical proof. But also beyond that, Gypsy, there's an interview, that number one podcast is with the number one weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. See number 3, the peer-reviewed human trial studies. You can go to the website, you can click on there, it takes you right to the studies. We have nothing to hold back. There's no reason to hold anything back. We're not even going to contact you if you go there, by the way, any of you. Why would you go look at the medical proof, all of you? Why wouldn't you do that? I don't know why you wouldn't, but it's just the most amazing thing in the whole world. But there's so much more to this. Look at this gentleman here, everybody. 34 pounds, 26 inches, and 20. Look at how much he shrank. You can think if you think up here on the wrong podcast, I'm serious, then go follow an influencer that has no medical proof at all. None, zero. Or take medically tailored meals. They're selling these things, MTMs. You can look it up. Look it up, but there's no medical scrutiny of those foods. It's never been tested. It's so crazy. And look at Christopher. Now, I want you to pay attention here to the medical. Look, 43 pounds, 44 inches in a month, but his A1C was actually pretty good, 5.3 to 4.9. Look at his triglycerides, 160 bad cholesterol, 105 to 68. And then his blood pressure, 133 over 86, dropped to 126 over 73. And then Curtis, a 65-year-old man, 40 pounds, 52 inches in 30 days. Look at his lab work. His A1C from 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides 242 to 124. You going to show me any diet that's ever produced anything like this? You can't do it. It doesn't exist because they won't put themselves to the scrutiny of peer-reviewed human trial studies. And the studies that are out there, the only thing they ever tell you is how much weight somebody lost. They don't do what's called body composition, the relationship between how much fat by volume we have versus how much lean muscle. What about liver enzymes? What about digestive enzymes? This is a whole new science. This was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the entire world. So, who else is curious about how they did this? Anybody? Would like to know? Put it in the chat. I'm here to support you. I don't know, we're having some technical issues on the internet too all of a sudden. I don't know why that is, but it's okay. We'll deal with it, right? Oh, Sunshine, you sent me a rose. That was really kind of you. But anybody else, if you just tap on the screen, if you like the content, then we get more likes, and that's good for the algorithm. But don't tap if you don't like, if you're not jiving with the content. I don't need fake accolades. Okay, I'm a nutritional researcher for 23 years. I've written 4 best-selling books with some of the biggest medical doctors in the world. I did 20 shows on public broadcasting and have done over 1,500 live lectures in the United States, Canada, Mexico. They even flew me to to China. Yeah, but I've spoken in hospitals and universities. I was a keynote at Autism One conference in Chicago 2 years in a row, one of the biggest autism conferences in the world. So I'm not just some guy up here spouting stuff. I'm a scientist, and I only rely on medical proof, period. Everything else is just chatter. You've got plenty of it on social media. And I would say to all of you, when we've got people like Harvard Medical School, let me find it. I know I have it here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Stop counting calories. They said we've all been taught that losing weight is a matter. This is Harvard Medical School saying this. We've all been taught that losing weight is a simple matter of simple math. Cut calories 3,500 and you lose about a pound. But as it turned out, experts are learning that this age-old strategy is totally misguided. Harvard Medical School went on to say, the idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said, it's time to concentrate on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. That's what these researchers did, and they have nothing to do with Harvard Medical School. Does anybody really believe, oh, Sunshine, that's so nice of you to say that. That is really nice. And I see you gave me a heart, and so did Kata Mello 24. Thank you. Thank you all. But if you don't mind, Sunshine, if you don't mind answering a question for me, and this is not self-serving on my part, but I really want to know, have you found anyone else on social media that's showing you real medical proof, real medical evidence? I'd love to know if you've seen anybody that's doing that. And do you feel, see, we want to spread this around the world. The New Health Conversation is a movement, right? But we want to make, and the website's available to anybody in the world. They don't have to come on my podcast to have access to that. But what do you think? I mean, honestly, have you seen, any of you, whether it's Gypsy or Katamine or Paul, have any of you seen any other, influences on social media with medical proof? Rather than just, they're nice people. I'm not going to disparage them. But if we're trying to compare what they're telling you to do versus this, how do you compare evidence, medical proof, published in the biggest medical journals in the world? And like I said before, somebody may have missed it, one of the studies published in the Obesity Journal, which is considered the #1 obesity journal in the world, when this study was published in 2024, it was the #1 downloaded study in the world, in the whole world. That's what you're dealing with here, everybody. Oh, Catamine 24. Nope. She says nobody else that they've seen. And Sunshine, do you agree with that? And would you say also that Katie Mello 24 or Sunshine, that this is you feel like you're getting educated? That's the most important thing to us, because we don't have anything to sell. So if I'm trying to sell you, I don't know, what would I be selling you? Air? I mean, this is crazy. And I want your honest opinion. How do you react to this information? Do you feel it's educational? Is it exciting to become aware of something that could completely change the rest of your life? Because the key to this is to keep the weight off you for the rest of your life. Although, listen, everyone, we have kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 91 years old. We have people with no thyroids. We have a man with a heart transplant, kidney transplant, people with no gallbladders. And yet we're treating, curing, we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or preventing a medical disease. I have to say that as a disclaimer because that's true. All we're doing is sharing it's all in the public domain. You all can go see it, etc. So as long as we're doing this, let me talk about the shots for just a moment. It's a big rage now, these GLP-1s. First, we're not against the shots. So I don't want anybody to get nervous and say, he's against the shots. No, I'm not. They're helping diabetics and helping people who are morbidly obese. But would you be curious to know of one of the big studies done in the New England Journal of Medicine, which is the number 1 or 2 medical journal in the world? They did a study on once weekly semaglutide. You know, there's Ozempic, there's Triepazide, there's all these various GLP-1s now, right? Well, here's a 68-week study in the New England Journal of Medicine. You all can go look it up. 68 weeks, the weight loss was 32 pounds, and of the 32 pounds people lost, 40% was lean muscle mass. So you be the judge. 68 weeks to lose 32 pounds and 40% of this lean muscle versus 21 pounds, 38 inches in 30 days, and she gained 6 to 9% lean muscle and lost no water weight. I'll let you make I shouldn't have to convince you, should I? Our job is to present the medical proof, and then you decide if you want to go against Harvard Medical School. But here's another huge study. Where do you hear this? This is from Tracy Mann, M-A-N-N. You all can look it up. UCLA, University of Minnesota, one of the top weight loss researchers in the world. Nothing to do with the people who invented this. Listen to this study. A landmark UCLA meta-analysis by Tracy Mann and her colleagues, published in American Psychologist, reviewed 31 long-term studies on calorie-restricted diets and exposed the harsh truth. What's the harsh truth? The analysis concluded that dieting itself produces future weight gain. They're saying all the studies, you're going to gain weight on any of these damn diets. Yeah, I get really animated because it's all nonsense. We've been hooked. I did diets for years. The hell, everybody. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks on this 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. Does that interest you? Any of you? Would anybody like to ask a question about that? What do you think about that, everybody? Given the choice, which one would you choose? Oh, by the way, this has no side effects. See, that's our job. We're neutral. We're nutritional researchers. We're presenting the evidence and letting you decide. That's why that website's so important to you. That's why we won't contact you if you go to that website. Why would we need to? The medical proof is there for you to see. We don't have to analyze it. You get to see it yourselves. So, Kata Mello 24, does that make sense? Sunshine, does that make sense to you? Gypsy, does that make sense to you? Or any of you? The website is free to go to and we're not going to contact you. Who's offering you that? I see people that want to sell you an app, you get recipes, and then you get a coach? Really? What the hell kind of nonsense is that? Oh, do this, we're going to give you some recipes. Really? Do you have any basis of the analysis of the food you're telling them to eat? Do you? Do you have? Was it analyzed by a nutritional chemist? Was it? No. But it sounds good. They got a fancy brochure and they're nice people. We've got to put an end to this craziness. No, Explorer, no, you just don't understand. You don't get it at all. No. Did you hear me explain the process? Because here's your first problem. If you're going to rely on eating, certain foods like organic in North America, first of all the foods in North America that have been tested, they're all but nutritionally bankrupt, just to give you an idea. So it's not enough, even if you do, and 200 studies prove, by the way, that organic was slightly better than regular food, about 10 to 15%. And why do I eat organic? Because it's less polluted. But it's a small portion of the food I actually eat. The researchers only used 30% of the food from the grocery store, all organic, to create these results. The other 70% did not come from North America. It actually came from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, that represented foods and nutrients you can't even get in North America, let alone the amount, but also the kinds of nutrients don't exist in North America, period. So you're on the right track, but you're not really. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because then what the researchers were able to do, and by the way, the people who invented this, it wasn't me, okay? But they've been called she got thin, eat less Twinkies. You know, when people say something really ridiculous, you know, it's just unfortunate that you would come on and have to waste your time, right? You're wasting your time. I mean, when you say things like that, I mean, it doesn't make it, it's just silly. It's silly to waste your time coming on and making statements. I mean, I'm agreeing with you that our food in North America is all but nutritionally bankrupt. And that's, so again, Explorer 247, that's the problem. So these researchers, who by the way are rated the top weight loss, nutrition, and human physiologists in the world, they did human physiology studies on nutrients or foods when people ate them. What really were the nutrients doing inside? How much nutrition did they actually have? So they put together the food list. And 30% of the food you would buy, Explorer, yeah, you're going to buy it from the grocery store. But they're giving you the list not of calorie amounts, serving sizes of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But here's what separates the Explorer. The other 70% of what you would buy and consume doesn't come from the United States. It comes from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, that represent not only these huge amounts of nutrition, but nutrients you can't get in your body in North America. Does that make sense? And then, based on that, they created two completely new ways of eating. 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. Yeah, she started with these exotic foods from around the world. Nothing from the grocery store. Lunch from the grocery store, the very foods you're talking about. Dinner from the grocery store. And then a fourth meal after dinner, these exotic nutrients from around the world. You can't get them at your local grocery store. They're not available. So you're on the right track, but if you're trying to do it with food from they tried to do this with organic foods from North America. My God, they did 40 years of research, 100 studies, thousands of people on every diet out there, and no diet ever produced weight loss that was sustainable. Why? Because when you go on a diet and you lower the amount of nutrition you're giving your body, your brain will turn to your muscles for fuel, slowing your metabolism down, and that's why 2/3 of people gain back all their weight and more. Well, what they did here, 5 days a week, 4 meals a day, 2 days a week, and you could never do this with regular food. She had no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world, but this time she was eating 8 times a day. She had something every hour and a half. Diabetics on this, no insulin spikes in a month. Now here's what blew this away from anything you're talking about, Explorer 247. They measured blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and proved this is a detox. It is not a diet. It's nothing to do with counting calories. They forbid people from counting calories, actually. They gave them serving size. But the second thing it did that no diets ever produced, they measured inflammation. It came down 25% in 30 days. That's never been studied before. The diabetics, and in diabetes, one of the things you measure is how much insulin do you need to push your blood sugar down, right? This has never been seen in any study in history. The diabetics on this, their need for insulin came down 41% in a month, and the medical doctors that were monitoring their patients doing this had to cut their meds by 50% in 30 days. You're not going to do that with regular food. I mean, it's silly. They tried to do it with regular food. It didn't work because our food is becoming, well, let's be kind, it's nutritionally insufficient to ever do something like this. Because this was not based on, it was based on smaller quantities of food. Well, if you get food that's already nutritionally bankrupt and then you have a smaller quantity, your brain thinks you're starving to death, it's going to turn to your muscles for fuel. It's that simple. It's not that complicated. So, U.S. is fast food oriented, deeply fried everything. So, crap food, raise medical bills, you guys have it tough. You must be from another part of the world. Where are you from? I'm just curious, AA. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. AA and all of you, I actually discovered them. So there's a new medical syndrome that you have AA and me and everybody in the world. It's called the TDOS syndrome. The T is for toxins that we're storing in our fat cells. The D is for the nutritional deficiency of our food, overweight, and stress. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office of a new medical syndrome. Peter Greenlaw, oh, that's me. I did discover it. So I kind of know a little bit about toxic chemicals, et cetera, in 23 years. Well, the patent office gave me a registered trademark of me discovering this medical syndrome. That's a pretty big deal, right? Good, good. And as a matter of fact, you'll be happy to know that some of what this comes from your sister country in New Zealand, and the others come from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America. So I agree with you. I love England. I went, this is a long time ago, maybe 25 years ago. I went every month for 10 days to London. I loved it. I used to stay on Baker Street. I'm not sure what part of the UK you live in. The only thing, I had to adjust to drinking warm beer. That was cool. But the whole time, you'll probably laugh when I tell you this. So every month for a year for 10 days, I got rained on once. So any of you thinking about going to England, don't get scared because it's going to rain. It was like, it was amazing. What a beautiful place. And the history is just unbelievable. So great, Kate. Great, great, great. No, Explorer. Well, part of the reason you would do the free consultation with the coach is for that. Are they autoimmune diseases? Are they blood sugar, cholesterol? What types of things are we talking about? And again, we're not curing, treating, diagnosing, or making any medical claims, but we have medical doctors that are coaches, we have nurses, we have a whole host of people. So depending on what kinds of things you're challenged with, and you don't have to put it in there if you don't want to. I mean, I know it's a personal thing, but remember the coaches are free. And if they can't give you the direct answer, there's other people that are part of this movement called the New Health Conversation. And all the coaching is free. So whatever you would want to know about, they'll share that with you for free. Yes, I was in London. I stayed on Baker Street, as a matter of fact. And I'm sure you know this, right? So especially when I would go there, like what would be your summer, I would be able to stay in flats, as you call them. I think you still call them flats, right? For Americans, they're like condos. And they were from all like the people from the Far East, Arabs and whatever that, owned these places. And I found out I could stay in one of those like half the price of a hotel, and had a kitchen and a TV, and I mean, it was great. Once I figured that out, it was cool. And I will say, I even adjusted to drinking the warm beer, but my God, the wonderful, wonderful. Ah, okay, Explorer. So you would want to put that in if you decide you want a free coach, put that in there, and we'll make sure we have proper medical information for you. You got it? And what's your weight loss? What's your weight situation, Explorer? That's really important. Like how tall, how much do you weigh? Because that may be exacerbating your condition. I'm not sure, but if you can tell me that, that would help me. It's flaws, but we have such rich variety. Yeah, you do. You do. Can I tell you something else funny? Well, you'll know this, right? But the first time I went to London and I went out to dinner, and you people are, I mean, weird in a good way. It's like, you can't go out to dinner till like 10 or 11 o'clock at night. What? This is crazy. But when they brought out the servings, right? Explorer, let me finish with AA and then I'll come right back to you, I promise. But I thought, well, I'm going to need to order another dinner. Because as you know, your 3, 4, 5 course dinners in the smaller serving sizes. I didn't realize, all these years later that was really the secret. Because it wasn't about how much food I was consuming, it was about how much nutrition I was getting. And I was shocked that I wasn't hungry. It's a great country. And, oh, Explorer, you need some help. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Absolutely. I'll come back to you in a moment. But AA, and also your refrigerators, like these tiny little refrigerators. But of course, you go shopping every day, so it makes sense. No, it's a wonderful country, and they call us Yankees, as you know, Yanks. Because I made a lot of friends, and they thought it was funny. And I had to teach them about American football because it was just like they were starting to show it a little bit. I know your football, soccer, I get it. Don't get mad at me. I'm not disparaging any of that stuff. Oh my gosh! But it was wonderful. I used to go running in like Kensington, I think Kensington Park it's called. I can't believe how green your country is. It's crazy green, crazy. I mean, it's like a fairyland, everybody. If you get a chance to go to England, go. The UK, sorry, the UK. It's a marvelous, wonderful place, right? So anyway, AA. Yeah, it's kind of like rugby, a little bit. Yeah, exactly. But AA, I would invite only if you want to. Different area, but the UK is rich in greenery. Yeah, but I mean, I did as many tourist things as I could. Right, I went to the Tower of London. I went to Windsor Castle. I went. Actually, I used to. One of the places I used to hang out is in, I forget what they call it, the estuary or something, Cardiff by the Sea, and that whole area up in there. I'm sure you would know what the name is better than me, but I used to go up there and I made friends who went up there. I loved it. It was amazing, amazing, amazing country. And the history is just, I mean, I can't, I can't promote it enough. Okay. Does that make sense? I did get a good dose of England. You're absolutely right. And also, mind the gap. I know you know. If I'm saying that, I was really there. The first time I heard that I think you call it the tube, right? Of course, we call it the subway, but same thing. When I heard that, I'm going like, what in the what's going on here? Mind the gap. I'm looking around. It was great. It was really great. So and AA, if you are, if you're even the slightest bit curious, you may want to go check out the website right there, the New Health Conversation. We have a lot of people in the UK, and because this podcast is going all over the world, and we've got people in the UK, we got them in Ireland, we got people in Madrid and Germany, Finland, because the researchers, there's only certain areas of the world where they actually are shipping, and it's the EU, the United States, Canada, Mexico, Puerto Rico, New Zealand, and Australia. And I don't have anything to do with that, but that's pretty much where they transport things. But you might find the website very, very intriguing, but you don't have to go there. I'm happy you came on, and like I said, I love your country. So, all right, Explorer. So first of all, what do you think you should weigh? And I promise you, if you can lose weight, that lung situation, we're not curing anything, okay? But it would put so much less strain on your lungs. What do you think you should weigh, Explorer 247? Yeah, okay, I'll give you 411, actually probably more like one. Let's just say I'd like to see it around maybe 110 to 115, but 120 will settle on that. So basically that's 84 pounds, okay? Now, Explorer, one thing I want to explain to you. No one here was allowed to exercise. They actually wore Fitbits. So I'm assuming with your lung challenge, your mobility is limited. Am I correct? Am I somewhat correct? Because that'll make a difference in terms of what the coach is going to. Yes, okay, that's what I figured. All right, now, so let me explain this to you. With that kind of weight in the first 4 days with no exercise, how excited would you be if you lose 8 to 10 pounds? Tell me right now, how excited would you be? And how motivated would you be to continue? I'm sure your doctors must have told you that if you can lose weight, it would put much less strain on your lungs. And obviously, the lung condition has also got to be affecting your heart. And unfortunately, I know too much about all this stuff, and I'm not a doctor. I'm a researcher, but I deal with so many people with so many different kinds of conditions, a lot of autoimmune situations. I'm not sure if yours is an autoimmune disease or something else. You'd be very, 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 oh, I love it. Very, very. That's great. So what I'm going to invite you to do, Explorer, is do you see the website there in blue, the New Health Conversation? Do you see that? And what I'd want you to do, wait, I'm having internet connection problems here for just a moment. Okay, let me show you again. So what you do, go to Google and type in the New Health Conversation. All right, and that's going to take you to Google, and you're going to see the website. There it is, the New Health Conversation. Got it? And that's the medical proof, okay? But we want them to go there first. Why? Because we're not going to convince you. We're not going to sell you. We don't have time to do it, but we want you to be comfortable that this is real and it's safe, okay? Now, once you've gone there, you can scroll down and get a free coach, and you get a place to fill in what you want to do. Make sure you fill in your condition so we know, so we could align you with someone who would be familiar, or they'd get you the information to guide you as you go. Because obviously, if we can help you by losing weight, I just can't imagine that your overall, see, this is a health system. This is a nutritional system that the real outcome is health. And what I always tell people, and I tell you the same thing, what we'd want to do is help you to maximize your quality of life potential, right? Wouldn't it be better if you could be a little bit more mobile, if you didn't run out of breath so quickly? But that extra weight is really, really bogging you down. I don't have to tell you, you know. And just to let you know, Explorer and everybody else, my own mother was morbidly obese. I never knew my mom thin. I never knew her healthy, and I loved her. And she was bigger than you. And 24 years ago, she called me up one day and said, you know, Peter, I have one wish in my life. I said, Mom, what's that? She said, I would give anything if I could spend one day thin. I said, wow, Mom, that's really cool. Well, 6 months later, massive heart attack and stroke. My mom dieted herself to death. I mean, I'd see her lose sometimes 20 pounds and gain 25 back. So she wasn't on what you're on, Explorer, but she was definitely challenged. I mean, she couldn't walk up a flight of stairs, for example. So her whole life was a tragedy of trying all these diets and just having her heart broken every single time. This is really like medical nutrition. Now, why am I saying that? Because the researchers who created this were able, they were not just weight loss people, all right? They were weight loss nutrition, and here was the most important thing, what are called human physiologists. And what does that mean? It means that when you ingest the food, they can tell what the nutrients are doing. How many nutrients, what are they doing, etc. So when they put this together, it was based on them picking foods, Explorer and everybody else, that were medically proven to have high levels of nutrition that were being utilized by the body to make us alive, basically. Got it? Right? So they put together a food list, okay, where, like, for example, in this case, 25 to 30% of the food she consumed in a month was from her grocery store. And she got a grocery list just like you would if you do this, Explorer. Proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of giving you calorie amounts, they gave her serving sizes. Does that make sense, Explorer? Does that make sense? Yes? Yes? Okay. So the other 70%, and here's what could potentially really help you, they came from foods or nutrients that don't exist in North America. And they came from places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. And these nutrients, not only were there large amounts of nutrients, but they contain nutrients that don't even exist in North America. So for example, in your case, there's no way you're not suffering from inflammation. Am I correct? I don't think I'm making some wild statement. I believe you're suffering from inflammation. Well, imagine in this protocol, inflammation came down 25%. Unheard of. Because part of what you're going through in your lungs, you're suffering from inflammation. I'm sure you would agree with me, right? Give me a yes if I'm right. You are correct. Okay. So would you think it, listen, here's what I always tell people. There's nothing in here that could hurt you. But let's just say, Explorer, if you do what the other people did, and you could lower your inflammation by 25%, would that be a good thing? That, right? Tell me, would that be a good thing? Because you've got to understand this is medical nutrition, and you don't need a prescription for it. And when I say medical prescription, the reason is because the foods they selected have been medically studied. All these people that are giving you all this advice, none of that stuff's been done in what are called peer-reviewed human trial studies. They haven't. They just haven't. So again, I would always be guardedly optimistic and tell you nothing is 100% on this planet, and any of the things that might, I don't know. But the other thing you have to extend, Flora, listen to this part. So the food you're going to select from your grocery store was selected by these researchers, but that's only 25 or 30% of what you're going to spend that you spent last month out of your total grocery bill. The other 70%, or maybe a little bit more than that you'd spend for these exotic foods, those exotic foods, 100% money back guarantee in the first month. Explorer, you got any diet where they're giving you 100% money back guarantee? Now, let me clarify something. The 30% you're buying from the grocery store, they're not going to give you a discount. I mean, they're not going to give you your money back. But those research, we're not here to rip people off. We don't sell anything. We don't have any products. Hello? But the researchers are so convinced it's going to work, they'll give you all your money back if it doesn't work. Can we get some more taps on the screen, everybody? We're stuck at 2,200. Oh, yeah, because it's really late at night for you, for sure. It was a pleasure meeting you, and I hope you will go to the website and check it out. Wow, I got something in the air here anyway. So anyway, have a great evening, because I know it's nighttime for you. Explorer, so you're clear about going to the website and potentially getting a coach. Does that all make sense? Does that make sense to all of you? Listen, everybody, come on, can we get some taps on that screen? Let's get some taps. Or not. Wow, I can't believe it's 4:30 already. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, so Explorer and everybody, oh, they were getting a few. I'll hang around just a little bit more if you can all tolerate me. It's now, I'm in Denver, Colorado. It's 4:30 p.m. in the afternoon. I know I think it's like 12:30 at night in the UK. I'm almost positive. I think you're 8 hours ahead of us in the summer. You don't have to answer. I understand you're probably going to bed. That's fine. So yes, I will. You're going to go to the website. Wonderful. Congratulations. So would anybody else like to ask a question? I'm going to go for about 5 more minutes, just in case. We're at 2,200. Come on, let's get some more taps on that screen to get to 3,000. Come on, everybody. I know you can tap on the screen. I know you can. And the way it works, just so you all know, when you go to the website and you sign up for a coach for free, by the way, the coaching's free. Normally they'll get back to you. I can't promise you today, but normally within 24 hours, the coach will get back to you. Now, the other important things, if you are, for example, out of the country, make sure you put your WhatsApp telephone number. That's very important. And then secondly, if the coaches call, which they will, they'll call you, they'll text you. Look, if you don't want to coach, please don't waste their time. We're so busy with people that really need this instruction, this free knowledge. So don't do it if you're not really interested. Because I would say 25 or 30% of the people that request a coach, then we try calling them and they never answer. That's not fair to us. We're working really, really hard to try and help as many people as we can. So if you just would be honest with us, if you're not interested, it's fine. You still get to see all the medical proof for free. But then it comes down to, you really want to change your life or not? That's pretty much the bottom line to all of this. Okay, we're at 2,400. Come on, let's get some more taps. I know we can get some more taps. Come on, everybody. Tap on that screen if you like what you saw. Come on, we're at 2,500. I know you can do better than that. Keep tapping, everybody. Let's get to much more. Let's get a lot more engagement than that. That's what I was going to tell you. Come on, 2,500. Let's get some more taps. Come on, everybody. I know you can do it. I know you can. Come on, everybody. I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see those numbers go up. One meal a day. I think I addressed that for you, Devish, Sandra, everybody. I'm just erasing names. Come on. Oh, we're at 2,600. Come on. Can we get a few more taps? I know we can get, okay? Oh, we're 2,700. We're really close now. Come on, everybody. Let's work together. Let's tap, 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 tap. Let's get some more taps going. This is so great. It's just wonderful, 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 wonderful. Come on, a few more taps. Yes, no, yes, maybe, possibly. Come, oh, 2,800, we're getting close. Come on, everybody, let's tap on that screen. And don't tap, if you didn't enjoy the information and you don't think it was of value to you, don't do it. But you all get the chance to go to that website for free right there in blue, The New Health Conversation. And you can see everything about this, and there's medical proof, and then you can get a free coach if you decide you like what you see once you go to the website. It's free to go there. There's no gimmicks. There's no like, oh, you're going to go there and we're going to sell you an app. There's no app to buy. There's no products to buy. This is food and a completely new way of consuming or eating food that is these are the top researchers in the world for weight loss, for nutrition, for human physiology. So I hope you will take advantage of the fact that you can go see all this medical proof for free. Oh, we hit 3,000. Thank you all so much. Wow, wow, wow. We're still, I see taps still going. Amazing. Thank you all so much. I hope you've all enjoyed this. And listen, you can tell any of your friends about this. They can go to the New Health Conversation. They don't have to be part of my podcast. And tomorrow morning, I will start at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sorry, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then I will probably do one. I normally try and do them every couple hours. I think I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I've got to check what time that is. But for sure, I'll probably start around 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow for any of you that are coming on late that didn't get. But you don't need me, everybody. You've got the website right there, the New Health Conversation. It's free to go there. Wow, we're getting lots more taps now. We're at 3,100. Some people must be motivated to, because the more likes I get, the more the algorithm rewards it. We want this podcast to be the #1 podcast in the world. Because who else is showing you medical proof? I've asked people that before. Explorer, I should have asked you that. Have you seen anybody on social media with one shred of medical evidence like I've presented to you today, which is a lot more than one shred? If you're still here, just I'd appreciate you. Give me a yes or a no. But I haven't found anybody that's found anybody like us. But it's not even my research, everybody. Right? No, I haven't. Okay. All right. So 3,300, that's wonderful. I'm very, very happy about that. And I hope I've made a difference in some of your lives, but it's not my research, everybody. Our job at the New Health Conversation is to make you aware of what's available. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or making any medical claims or preventing any medical conditions. But we are sharing with you this breakthrough technology. Because it really is a nutritional technology. That's basically what it is. It's medical nutrition. It's medically, it's been medically vetted. Because it's not just that you're just eating foods that they selected. They selected foods that have been medically proven to have these high levels of nutrition in smaller quantities of food. It's not an opinion on their part. Because they did the research, okay? All right, everybody, I'm going to sign off for now, and hopefully you'll tell some of your friends about this, and we can go from there. Have a wonderful night, evening, afternoon, tomorrow, wherever you might be in the world, because I know this is going all over the world, and I know, like in Australia, it's tomorrow morning, and also New Zealand. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.